put it right here in this office, so I'll have it. I personally bought it. Now, normally I just have one at the office. I have a actual book that I got for Christmas that my leaders bought me from Dr. Maxwell himself, an actual organizer planner, because I still am old school to this degree. I want to have a hard book, not just a calendar that I have, okay, in my phone. And that's very good for me. Amen. That's very good for me. But I still like carrying that hard calendar. And watch this here. I began to work on my presentations. I began to work on the books. I began to work on the things that I needed, hear me, so I can make sure that whatever it is that I was supposed to have is right before me. And hear me, some things you put in pen and some things you put in pencil. Let me say that to you again. There are some things you need to have in pen and there are some things you need to have in pencil. And when I got this this big calendar, desk calendar, whatever y'all want to call it, when I got it, I knew there was a reason for me to have it. And when I got it, watch what I'm getting ready to tell you. I'm beginning, all right? I'm beginning to actually put the task of what's important that I need every day. One of the hardest things that I can do, and I believe some of you will agree with me with this, when we were growing up, we were very good with remembering phone numbers. Anybody will agree with me on that. We knew people's phone numbers. I still to this day, I remember the home phone number that I grew up with, 773-324-4928 or 4931. We had 2 lines. And I remember that number. And I'm good at remembering people's phone numbers. Not because I dial them every day, but because once I get the number, I just know it. Hear me. But now, today's world, we have so many connections. We have so many things. You can't even remember people's phone number. So some of us right now, we either go to our contacts and hit the button, or we talk to Siri on our phone, or Bixby, if you got Android, Bixby, or on our actual iPhones, we can talk to Siri and dial the number for us. So we all have different things that we're doing and that we're rocking with and working with to make things happen for the greater good for us. And as I begin to write on this calendar, watch this here. I started writing things down. One of the hardest things for me to do is now remember like conference call numbers, access numbers, passwords, all those different things. So I have to write stuff down to remember where I have certain things at. And when I did it, I said, man, why is it that we live in such a place? It is simply because our focus is on so many different things. We don't have time to remember certain areas and certain places. So I said to myself, until I input, that's thought, until my thought is linked to my goal, which is my purpose, is that there will then be no intelligent accomplishment. I want y'all to hear what I said. Now, I'm just talking about me, all right? So I had to come up with a better thinking strategy or thinking pad to focus on what I should think about. So every day I try to set a goal in something. My mind will not focus until it becomes clear objectives. But the purpose of the goal is to focus your goal, watch this here, and focus your attention that you have not just an identity, but you make sure that your goals have a final destination. Okay. So I made sure that my goals, watch this here as I close for y'all today. My goals are clear enough to keep me in focus. They're close enough to help me achieve them, and they're helpful enough to help me change lives. Let me give that to you again. They're clear enough to help me keep my focus. They're close enough where they can be achieved. And lastly, they're helpful enough to where they can change lives. If that does not happen, then that's not a good thing for you to be doing. The guidelines will get you along for what it is that you need to do, but make sure that you write down your goals. I have some goals. Now watch this here. Now, so remember earlier I told you I'm an extremist. So when I have a goal in mind, I don't stop at it until I get it done. Whether it is going to the store, whether it's getting all my work done on my desk, whether it's all the things that's in my planner, whether all the things in my calendar on my phone, whatever it is, I get it done. Why? Because I want to make sure that I have it written down. I was sharing with my son yesterday at church. I said, until you write the vision and make it plain and have it before you, you will never know exactly what it is that you're doing. You have to keep your vision, your focus, your goal always before you. I can guarantee you this. If you are not focused enough, you don't have it written down, you're not going to achieve it. I'm telling you, when I began, watch this here, when I began as I said to you earlier, I have a lot of things on my calendar. I begin immediately taking certain things off. Yesterday was one of the greatest days that I've ever had in my life. Yesterday brought some closure to some things. Yesterday I brought some finality to some things. Yesterday I began some new chapters and some things. Yesterday, and hear me, and this just ain't Sunday. This is every single day. Amen. Projects that I'm doing, I bring finality to them. Starting new writings, I do that. When I get off with you today, I got some mentorship calls. I have to bring finality to a couple of those things that we were talking about to begin something new. I walked into a finality of a thing yesterday, to whereas the way yesterday something was terminated. Amen. Yesterday I began something new. Amen. And so you have to go through life and you have to look at things that way. And hear me, your focus has got to be on something that you know is going to bring you great fulfillment. One thing that I love is that I love bringing fulfillment, and I don't like being hindrances. So I'm this way. When I'm connected, I'm connected. When I am disengaged, I am totally disengaged. When I'm just like, I'm like a person that when I'm focused on something, I give my attention to nothing but that. And that doesn't make me a bad person. Now, does that need to be refined? I'll say yes. I'll say yes to that. But I'm not one that will remain in a covenant with you when there is no covenant. When the only reason why we had a covenant was because of a certain entity. Or I won't cross-pollinate into another person's pond. I won't deal in certain areas that I don't need to deal. You follow what I'm saying? And hear me. And I'm not talking about people per se, but I'm talking about just in business or in my personal life when it comes to family or things of that magnitude. My brother said something to me on yesterday that talked about an idea. And he said, Robbie, I write down my ideas now because of things that you told me. I said, well, guess what? On the back of a business card, if you only can, I said this way, if you cannot write your idea on the back of a business card, then you don't have a clear idea. That's what I said to him. He said to me, he questions his progress a lot of times. He questions his progress a lot of times. And I said, bro, is what you doing getting you any closer to your goals? Now, I said, if you only work just to go on vacation, that's not a good thing. You ought to work, amen, not just to pay bills. You ought to work to make sure that you have fulfillment, that you have a purpose, that you made an impact, and that you made somebody's day. Now, on the flip side, he does make people's day because of what he do, but does it bring him any fulfillment? And if it doesn't, then that means you've been doing things for so long out of order. I say to myself every day, am I headed in a direction that will help me fulfill my commitments, maintain my priorities, and realize my dreams? Some of y'all might want to write that down. I know that's mine, but you may want to adopt that to yours. Am I headed in a direction to help me fulfill my commitments, maintain my priorities, and realize my dreams? I'm telling you now, one of the greatest things that you'll be able to do is when you're able to input, that's your thought, when it's linked to your goal, which is your purpose, there can be no intelligent accomplishment. I don't care who tells you what. I don't care who tells you what can and what can't be done. I don't care who says that it's not right. You got to make sure that you understand that demands of what it is that you have been called and chosen to do and why you do what it is that you do. I'm telling you right now, as sure as Jesus is talking to me right now, I'm telling you, you will get ready to walk into one of the most best places that you'll ever walk into in your life, because you understand how things are done. Amen. Let me see. Hey, Lady Washington. I tell you what, let's talk offline. I'll give you actually the packet of our mentorship program, and then from there you can go from there and see what the Lord calls for you to do. Okay. I'm looking forward to conversing with you. Just inbox me your information and I'll make sure I send it to y'all. Listen, I gotta go, y'all. I want to get ready for what I need to do. Lady Washington, I'll wait for your information. Shoot me your email address inside of the inbox, and I'll make sure that I get it to you right away. And then from there, I'll make sure that we get a chance to converse and make some great things happen. So I love y'all. I appreciate you all. Have an amazing and an awesome day, and watch what God's getting ready to do in your life. Okay. Be blessed in the Lord. Have